All right, hey, back in for this afternoon. I don't know what time it is, and maybe I guess around about 3. Not that it really matters, but uh, just checking in, checking pulse. As we see out here, I guess everybody beeping some horns. Uh, got people stuck in traffic. They're not making turns. Everybody again are in their own worlds and moving at their own speed. And we have an elderly lady who really did slow down the traffic, because she didn't turn, and so she's kind of like even stuck right now. People are backing up, so you hear some more horns, and that's what life is like. That's what life is like to begin. And so basically, you got people going off a little bit with these horns, like fucking, I'm sure they didn't call him or her, but it's, the horns. Horns, there we go again. It was a short one. But the horns is that sign right there, you know what I'm saying? And the horns belong to a couple of people. Actually both of the emperor and that of the devil. Okay? Capricorn and fucking and Aries and shit. Back to that subject matter right there. You know? And even people are getting like a psychotic, this psychotic, whether it be traffic or it might be just something about a person or their energy just fucking irks you. Irks you, like irk and jerk. And, your antennas go up. We can call them antennas. We don't have to call them full horns and everything. But your antennas go up, and you feel the vibration. Whether or not they turn into just the horns of the devil, or they turn into the horns of the ram, where when the ram dies, give you ram power. You know what I'm saying? Whether it be in the physical or the verbal. And that's going to be up to how one alchemizes their own wata what's inside. That's how one alchemizes their own wata inside. And handles the situation, or let it be. Hey, probably something going on. And believe it at that. Well, I'll get a license plate APR. That's crazy. Which is like trash again, dirt. You know what I'm saying? A par. And some people might be that trash and dirt. As we're learning, and even we might be even that trash and dirt. You know what I mean? From their eyes. So, hey, that's what I'm saying as far as that, how we go ahead and transmute that vibration coming in or going by or honking at us, And so, even when, like Lynn popped into the mind because I took a little clip of his and everything, and it grabbed my attention a little while because I was actually just looking at the purple, the logos and everything, the purple. I actually used to work with Araceli, and this guy went to Brown University and everything too. I forget his actual name, but he had a CPC or CP something, and it was a cable company, and he actually got a contract. They got the contract. He was plugged in Brown University for fucking the Olympics. So we're doing the fiber optics on that and everything. QPC. And Lady Araceli was there. And we vibed and everything because she loved purple too. She loved the Prince, and so at that point in time, I had tapped into Prince a little bit. And Prince, at that point in time too, like I said, the showmanship and all the work he put in from the outside without going into all the the drama and everything was like top fucking notch. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if not the best on fucking guitar and all that type of shit too, musically all the way around. You know, I think the best on that. You know. Besides, like I said, when we got into the theatrics of things, Mike took a little bit more inside of that, and with the acting. Not going to say so much the acting, but just the theatrical part, performances. I think Michael had the edge on that, but Prince was basically eating them up. You know what I'm saying? Eating them up, and so in my mind, I call them purple people eaters and shit. And so Araceli, she reminded me of Cinderella, and everything. You know what I mean? Cinderella, Araceli, and Tom and Jerry be trying to go ahead and, well, not Tom and Jerry, they friends and shit. But you know how the cat chase the mouse and eat them up and shit. You know what I mean? And so all of that in the mental brought that thing of purple people eaters and shit. Okay? Purple people eaters. And then when I came across Lynn today, or actually not today, I saw it the last time, but it was just the thought of it didn't really, have the same vibration, rang a different vibration. And he said, wow, had his hand up, he said, it's hard to play you, to play you or something. I can't remember the exact title, hard to play you. And so, that thought form came to mind. I was like, wow, okay, I guess, because me, myself, I'm not really trying to play or follow your lead or something like that. And I'm not really trying to, I stay in my own lane. And so with that right there with Lynn, I wanted to go ahead and say, well, can I get the damn web address? Can I get the web address so I can critique myself on how a person plays me? Okay? If you can shoot that to me, Lynn, that'd be kind of cool. Nobody shot that to me yet, and since, I have put so much trust in you and your opinions and so forth, how you cook, then that'd be pretty cool. If not, I know you're a busy man. Hey, about them papers, and education. But more so, the POC of it, pure applied chemistry of it and everything. So even when we get to those, the pure applied chemistry, it's actually difficult also, because if you're operating inside of your own flame, your own kitchen, your own wata, then you're actually able to go ahead and do a little bit better, But if you're taking, and if you're creating it for yourself, it doesn't necessarily matter whether it spill over this way or spill over that way and everything. But if you're using somebody else's product or somebody else's chemicals on things, then they have an energy inside of that itself. And so therefore you have to get used to that. And then you have to go ahead and produce your own from that. It's like you can give all the same tools. The cooking shows, they all get the same products and shit. They all get the same exact products. And then the chef comes along and says they get time. Okay, so they get the time and everything to go ahead and see what they can come up with, how it tastes, smack them lips, what I'm saying? Let the tongue slap the brain and shit, or slap the stomach and shit, what I'm saying? And see what each woman say, what the brain say, what the stomach say, what the tongue say, what I'm saying? Just from the first fucking taste of it, you know what I mean? And if we get a tongue slapper, that's off the bat. And then if we go smooth down, it's even better. So all those things go into account whether we're in the kitchen or we're talking about, you know, New Jack City, which is still old Jack City, of people jacking motherfuckers to put their shit. You know what I'm saying? Especially when I saw, because we went straight right into fucking Crenshaw. He had a last Crenshaw shirt on. And then on that, before that, you know, you had, uh, 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 dang, what was it called again? It'll come back to me. Let's flow. Suge Knight's thing right now. I can't think of it right now, but Suge Knight's shirt on. So, we're looking at how everybody cook. What type of seasoning and shit, and it's all good. It's all good. We just want to taste the product, though. Just want to look at the product to see if it's not that it matters on me. Yeah, everybody gonna do it just so long. Everybody, you get your paper. Everyone gets their paper, whether they cooking, whatever they cooking. Whatever it wants cooking, so long it's working for them. But I generally just from the artistry point, if you can direct me to, if somebody's actually doing some flavor flav, switching up type of things, I would love that shit. I would just love to, check it out. You know what I'm saying? Check it out. Yeah. And beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. So back to the beep beep, the honk and the horns. What happens? You get a lot of psychotic people and shit. Because I'm not gonna lie, even my ex-wife, what she used to do, she used to hate. She would honk and the horn, on the horn. It's when I'm traffic. What the fuck? You know what I'm saying? And there's a couple of people that love to get on that horn, and not let it's just the way traffic is right now. It's just traffic. Just chill for a minute until it passes, and we're gonna get to where we got to go, our destination. And so, everybody's different. That's why I personally, I could sit in the side and the passenger side, but I personally like to drive myself, so I don't have to go through all of that. No, don't get me wrong. But if you ride with me, sometimes I might miss my exit because, of different things coming in, or I've got another thought, or if we're not in a conversation, you're in your own world, maybe on your phone, this right here, I might be in mine, I might miss the exit, even though it's telling me to turn right here, or turn left over here. I might miss all of that shit. And so you get these, thoughts, even then you might, like I say, you might think you need a therapist, to where you need to talk these things out because, hey, there's anger problems and issues or what have you not. Like the ex-wife daughter had said and everything about herself. She goes, hey, I don't know why. I get so angry when people don't fucking agree with me. Sort of like the anger that was in water is fluid today. Explanation point. The anger in it. And what happens, when we go to the psychiatrist, that's like they basically going to try and give you a diagnosis or of a psychosis and everything, and the thing of the psychosis is that of psychology. And then if we break that down, you got to be psycho already in order to fucking. And so what it is the psycho fucking people. And that's going back to fucking skin color again. I didn't finish that because, see, in the darker melanated people, as Doreen Dotan has spoken on, darker melanated people, they can go ahead, they have a lot of wisdom and don't necessarily know how to get it out. And again, I'm looking at the whole thing of Africa, but we see the reason why too, because you can look at the beauty of it and the multiplicity of languages, and at the same time, but you have to look into, because it's difficult to go ahead and and communicate, then that's where the friction comes and everything. So as many, if you like, India has so many different dialects and so forth, and it is all broken up. And you even even the guy from China said, "Hey, I can't fucking." I don't know. It was asking the president from China, "Well, what would you do different over here? Do you think you could help India out?" And he said, "Hey, you know, it takes a." He broke it down. It takes a long time, but India has too many dysfunctions, too many languages. They will not work together and everything. So it's not, pretty much, he said, there's nothing I could do. It's not my problem. But he said it, you know, cordial and with respect, you know. But it's not my problem, okay. And so, and I say that because then she went to the other range of people, which is like lighter skin. And she's, like she said, she's albino even looking. And when she went to Ireland, he said, well, dang, the two genes of DNA that the dark that she had passed through made her look like a Negro over in Ireland with some of the people that are over there with the white, the Caucasian skin and everything and hair and all that and everything. You know, now what made her two genes, because she does have curly hair, okay, curly hair and everything, so we could see that inside of her hair. Doreen Dotan I'm talking about. And so, but she says now, if you have too lighter skin, your skin is too light, like Caucasian, then you don't reflect. Why? Because the sun, you know, you can't absorb the sun, so you don't reflect on what it is. The sun actually, the melon, produces what was mellow, the mellow, to where you can actually sit inside of yourself and actually uh, begin to unravel these 14 generations that you have been here since before time started, okay? And it still came through all the seeds of three, okay? Three at a time. That's the reason why they did Martin Luther King, Martin Luther King the Senior, Martin Luther King Jr., Martin Luther King the Third, William the First, William the Second, William the Third, Richard the First, Richard the Second, Richard the Third, Eugene the First, Eugene the Second, Eugene the Third. So all three of these, why is that? Because the seed that goes into that comes out of the whether it be inside of the masculine, okay, inside of the ocean, crabs or a seahorse and so forth, that seed is going to be supplanted three times. That one seed, that sperm, and that sperm and everything goes, or the egg itself, when it is charged, you have, let's stay right here on Earth and everything. For the feminine, the mother, okay, she gets pregnant. So she has the seed inside of her for the daughter. And then when that daughter is born, there's another seed born inside of her for the next generation. So that's three seeds within just one pregnancy. Three seeds within one set pregnancy. And then, so look at that one. Now let's look at twins and multiplicity, triplets and quadruplets and octuplets. There's been rare, but rare that we know. Let's just say that we know. And so, with that right there, throughout the variations of skin color, tone, now some might come out black. One set of twins came out with melanated skin, and then another. This was from Jerry Springer and a couple of other places I saw where the one maybe either slept with Caucasian guy and then slept with a melanated guy, and the twins, where they slept in not so close apart, or maybe they was having sex together, and she had a baby that was dark, totally white, Caucasian, and totally black, twins. So they're going to have the melanation, or the thought process is going to be enhanced, and some might have to go ahead and work at it because the melanation and everything inside of each of them are different. And so one might have be quiet, and the other one might be talkative. But again, that one is not necessarily that of reflecting and everything. So, but it's not impossible for, again, even the Caucasian to go ahead and reflect. Okay, it didn't say collect, you know, but reflect in a sense of contemplate, think about, to be able to articulate. So what happens? They get the knowledge and everything, and then they just go ahead and spew it out. They don't necessarily even feel it, but because they can retain, they might have the gene to retain the knowledge and everything really fast, or even been ushered and laced, okay, to certain aspects and thoughts and forms of just life itself. Processes, uh, knowing that the therapist is a rapist, it is psychotic, and we have to go ahead and manage it. So that's the reason why all of these psychoanalytic type of uh, jobs have popped up, because of some of the things that people go even do for eating purposes, you know, children, adult, their grandma, grandpa, whoever the fuck, however they do it. Uh, or even we do it unknowingly, that's inside the food. And so we're going through all kinds of different things, like mad cow disease, and all even if it's not done the kosher way, to where the animal does not necessarily feel, it's not shocked, not death, frozen, and then that goes into our body, and so the same thing happens to that. The psychosis goes into our body, and so then we're all out of whack. So, and we wonder if it's not, we're not eating our children or what have you, but we're actually, going the trauma of the animals, you know, and those things itself are would also make you believe, or lead you to want to, as they tell you, to go to a therapist, which is really the rapist. And this is the the psychologist, the psychiatric, you know, uh, psychoanalysis, in which one has to contemplate if they can be more reflective in their thought processes, you know. And then she went on to say, Doreen Doten went on to say again, she said, hey, and she spoke about the rabbis and everything on the subject matter. And so to have that, the even, and don't suggest just to marry for that reason or everything like that, for to marry dark to really dark to, Caucasian or Asian, and remember the Asian is there, is the last part of the word. Asian came first, I believe, you know, and cock came second. If we look at it from right to left, Caucasian, Caucasus Mountains. And so all of these things is what one must contemplate on when in a conversation, when listening to people, when listening to whomever we're talking to, whoever is talking, or we come across and we hear them, or we see action, we see, the vibration, we see and feel all the things that's, that are passerby even. And so it's still a lot that a lot of people have to work on, because a lot of people will reflect, meaning like push it away, and still go back into their own mental mode of their experience, and not absorb what, like I said, I like I said, the process of listening is a dying age. You know what I'm saying? Because what it is people don't want to listen anymore. They just want to talk, and so it goes in and out one ear. All right. And then you have that of pretense. So they're thinking about someone, you speak on it, and they say, "Oh, I remember." And then they started thinking about it as you're talking, and so again, that's because the line has been fucking cut off. All right. Then you have selective hearing. That means only hearing what the fuck you want to hear, and we all get like that sometimes. Okay, let this shut the fuck up. Yeah, yeah, okay, yeah, motherfucker, right here. Whoa, you know what I'm saying? Okay. Then we're listening, and I got it, but what do you mean by that? Okay. And so we repeat it back, and we still might not have it right. And then we mull over it, and we still, we might get it. We might get it on that time. And we repeat it back to him and say, "Could you repeat that again?" So you can feel the vibration, you can feel the energy, you can feel the frequency of what she's actually, or even the animal is actually speaking to us in. And at that point is where we have that connection and we have the communication to where we have that understanding, and we are in the center of the dark melanated and that of the non-melanated or less melanated, you know, in a Caucasian aspect, as Doreen Dotan was talking about. And so that is what's going on because of, like I said, people go to school, people have their experiences, and because of the things they study, Shakespeare, uh, see, all of these plays are just sarcasm in a motherfucking theater play. All right, all right. Sarcasm of psychoanalysis, psychiatric, what's it called? Psychotic uh, extremes to even switch roles, by a semicolon or a colon. Okay, switch roles, switch the whole fucking play up, the whole play, you know, and to include even inside of tarot, what we do. I mean, everybody plays baseball inside there. You know what I'm saying? Ah, everybody be playing baseball and shit, and uh, you know, push it on out this way or push it on out that way and everything. 34, 68, hut, hut, hey! Or football. So with all of that and everything, it's and then you just got the regular, the handshakes and everything, the Masonic, all that shit, of how to. Anyways, you already know. You already know. So with all those things attached to your own identity, and you're trying to work that and everything, especially as to be effectively as you can for your team, you lose your fucking self, whether you're in the daylight or the nightlight. Okay, whether you're chillers because you have to go ahead and perform it because of whatever oath you've taken and everything. And the vows, what I'm saying? You're not a constant. You yourself have pushed your consistency down with being with yourself as a constant, whether you melanated or not. But you have pushed yourself down from being a constant, okay? Because of the vows you've taken. And that's the glitch in the motherfucking programs. 29:29 on the clock, which is 11:11. That's the glitch in the fucking programs that people, even in tarot too, I was looking at that. Say, for instance, we do have Capricorn. Capricorn is the south node of Cancer. Mother and father again, right? Okay, and they got Capricorn being the devil and everything, right? Where the word devil is just lived backwards, all right? And even the devil is mentioned 55 times. I'm sorry, Satan is mentioned 55 times inside the entirety of the Bible, has a numerical value of 55 times. And how they cut Satan up is they put him in Job, which has the most chapters, most when they spoke on it, using the Satan, it is 14 times. So even Satan itself is cut up out of the 55. Okay, Satan itself is cut up and shit. So the the devil, the devil and everything that's inside of everyone, this is all of us, is really just us living backwards. Lived, we lived. It's past tense. We lived backwards. And so those who do not recognize that are still living backwards. And that EING, that line with the ING, which belongs to Australia, that company there, ooh, you know, and that's the land down under where women roar and men thunder. So women roar, that's the lion, the ing. You got that? Noom? Noom, do you got that? I think you should go ahead and name the frog Kermit Jr. That's what I think you should name him, Kermit Jr. Just don't call him Froggy. Fuck, his fucking so interpersonal or something like that. Or Frogette, you know? Kermit, okay? In honor of Kermit, you know? Sesame Street and shit, you know what I'm saying? Open Sesame Street. And this is Kermit. And this is the 14th generation of Kermies. That's what I would say, you know? And then get you a lion up in there. Fuck, you guys are fucking the ing, you know what I'm saying? You are the ing of things, you know? Where women roar and men thunder. So put some thought form into that and, hey, create some theater on your channel with that. Maybe. And don't let him get eaten up and, where he is, where you go ahead and put some neon lights and shit on him, you know what I'm saying? And, take care of them, know where they're at and everything, because, hey, if you're going to give some life to something and everything, then we should go ahead and, hey, that's crazy. Make sure we water it. Make sure we water it. If you're going to give life to something, make sure we water it. Okay? That's what I would think. I wouldn't keep him in that wall right there, but, give him some water. Even throw Froggy inside the water. All right? Or not Froggy, but I call her Kermit. Kermit, make it a female Froggy. All right? That's what I suggest. Anyways. Yeah. So you got to be psycho. A little bit fucking psycho. You know what I'm saying? Hannibal fucking Lecters are fucking psycho. Okay? Got to be fucking a little bit fucking psycho in order to go ahead and act normal. Because as and I love him too. I love the autistic mystic. As we get ready to go into this act of divination, this act of divination, you know what I mean? At least he tell you the truth is an act, just like the Book of Acts, right? Just like Matthew, if you do the math, Mark the spot, X marks the spot. Luke, that's Lucy and Kenya, which is, that's the physician. This is a physician. That's the reason why we're talking all this stuff. This is what we're fucking talking about, therapy and all that type of shit. Luke, right? Physician, or Ikul, and John, the doctor, to make the gene of John 3:16, the first begotten clone, sons, daughters, bat, ben, ibat, iben, dada. Mama or Ma, Jen. Matter of fact, Lady Jenny, that's why she said time, because see, even the Jen that's fluid is really the beginning of that creation of Genesis. So that's why she's sticking on that right there. I got you, girl. I got you. I know it. I see you. I see you. I see you, Jen Jen. No trip. Life is like a box of chocolates. Right? You never know what's inside unless you can read the fucking box. You know? Read, because they tell you what kind of motherfucking chocolates in there shit. I don't know what Forrest Gump was fucking talking about, but that's what his cousin Jenny said. That's what cousin Jenny said. So let it go ahead and make some. We might even go ahead and put some fucking clocks. Make some chocolate out of motherfucking clocks, Jenny, and put your fucking name on it. Hey, and then fucking that shit a sell because time is fluid. And then make that your fucking logo. Make it a Jenny clock chocolates or some shit. You know, don't just get frustrated about it. You take that shit and utilize that fucking energy, Jenny. Right? That's what I suggest anyway. Because it's better to go ahead. Me, myself, I always say, I'd rather go ahead and be the asshole than look like the whole ass and everything, okay? And that's, first of all, I can close that motherfucker up just like a turtle. Or, you know, when I have to go ahead and do the number two, you know, hey, let that shit go. Get that feces on out of here, or Pisces on out of there. You know, little fishes, Pisces, fishes, same thing. Feces, Pisces. Okay, especially because you really want to clean the bowl, or which is the bowels of our stomach and colon, and you want to clean it out and everything. You know what I mean? You know what I mean, Burn? You know, because hell, dealing with them the feces or Pisces, boy, sometimes it's a lot of shit. It's a lot of motherfucking shit for bull, and they ain't even motherfucking damn Taurus, but there's a lot of bullshit that come through fucking Pisces a lot of times too. I kid you fucking not. You know what I'm saying? But that's because of the patterns. We got Pisces, Aries, and Taurus. Okay, so that's the pattern. So those patterns or the paths. Even when you put that H on there, pathfinders. You know what I'm saying? The path. You know, whew. And everybody just want to pat you and shit too. Oh, think that you okay? Get your motherfucking hands off me, fool. All that type of things that one has to go through just to chill. Just to chill. Let's chill. Let's settle down. Because that's what I want to do. With me, myself, and I first before I fuck with you. But there's no I with me. It's just me. Me. Except when it's time to go ahead and, join a cacophony of other like-minded or going in the same direction. We don't even have to be like-minded. But if we're going in this, we actually hear, listen to this old Mercedes right now. You hear it? Okay, if we're going at that speed, or we got an electric one right there, they got to start up right now. This Porsche got to start up. I don't know if you heard it now. So it depends on what vibration you're on, what channel you're on. We're going, and if we're going in the right direction, are we going fucking this direction? Or are we going this direction? Are we going to be stuck in the red fucking light? Or are we going to go up? Okay? That's all up to us. That's all up to us. See who we're going to chill with for a minute, or, check out their vibration, what happened now. You ain't got to get into that car because we don't know what type of shit they're gonna crash on mentally before they crash physically. You know what I mean? We just don't know. So yeah, chill, 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 and with yourself before we go ahead and get into the other lanes, or you know, collaborations, because they put your motherfucking ass inside the lab, for real. You know what I'm saying? And then all the rats comes on, and you just are the rations for all of that shit. All right. And the coal is really the voice, you know. As they might have coal in, you know, that's like when you let gas out or whatever, you know that it's a little. Sometimes you poop, sometimes it. Oh my goodness, depending on what you eat, and that's so. Not only do you have that, the sound, you know, some people have them silent ones. They be deadly as motherfucker though, you know. But again, so that's the thing of clearing out whether it be your coal, meaning your voice, so your throat chakra can go ahead and actually help you to explain, assist you explain, or open up to where it's not even the words that come out, but the energy, the vibration, and everything. And then we take our time in the explanation of everything as it comes to us from all the dimensions that we are inside of. If you're stuck here, then you're stuck here. If I'm stuck like Chuck, that is not my Chuck, stuck like Chuck or Charlie's Angels. You know, hi Charlie. You know, and you know, just doing what 1970s Farrah Fawcett did. Who else was in there? Charlie's Angels. Anyways, we're gonna let you guys get going and think about that. Think about that. Let that, if it resonates. If not, hey, pass it on. Pass it on. All right. Ciao, ciao.